Warning: the Chaotic Culture podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Embrace the culture, blaze the doja, grab your loved ones and bring them closer. Extra, extra, read the poster, the KKP is taking over. Sleeping on me, better smell the Folgers. I've been razor sharp since the Motorola. Off for O, like the cover Oprah. Popping bottles, feet all in the sofa. It's a celebration, though the times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic Culture, the greatest pod. With Kay the Pro, the one in charge. But it's a celebration, times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic Culture, the greatest pod. With Kay the Pro, the one in charge.
We're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture.
Yo, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another edition of the Chaotic Culture podcast. If you have been tuning in, this is actually the third interview that we have been running, and I must say that I'm enjoying this run here. The first interview, of course, was with Zach, and then we had one with Christina, and now I have another special guest with me that I am excited to have on this pod. So first, let me get my introduction out the way. This is the host, your boy Ked the Pro, aka the Calculated Millennial, aka the Cutlass Diamond, aka don't be pushing on my buttons in my Cutlass unless you cutting. The 843 is me. Right now, I'm not doing it live from the 75. I'm actually back home in the 843 in Charleston. Had to come home, visit fam, visit my mom, visit my grandparents, make sure that they were doing good, of course. And that's when, of course, I realized, hey, this weekend is actually a very special weekend. So let me call my friend up and invite her over to do this episode. So this interview, of course, is going to start with my very, very, very good friend, Chakana. Now, for those who don't know, we did an episode back in December of 2020 for her podcast for Brutal Honesty with Kay Reenea, for those who do not know who she is. So definitely continue to check out that podcast. Please go and check her out. Very, very, very dope podcast. And she's been doing this for goodness. How long you been doing this now?
2 years in May.
Oh wow!
I know.
Wow! And I'm just coming up on a year.
It'll be 2 years in May.
Okay,
which is
word.
crazy because I was like thinking about it when I did another podcast last week. Shout out to Bad Takes powered by Manifest. They're from Somerville too, and was thinking about it, and they asked me about it, and I was like, damn, like it'd be 2 years in May since I did this. It's crazy.
Hey, yo, that's what's up, man. Yeah, she's coming up on 2 years, and I'm just coming up on 1 year. So, again, for those who don't know, this is the single reason why I even started a podcast to start. I have to give her credit for that, because if it was not for her, I don't know if I would be doing this. I definitely have many other motivations for doing this, but she was the one who actually made that push. So I always have to shout her out. You've heard me shout her out a couple times on the podcast as far as up and coming Black authors. So we'll get into that talk a little bit more. As far as how long I've known Chakana, we met back in Fort Dorchester when we were in high school. Your freshman or sophomore year? Your sophomore year. Okay, yeah, because I was 16 and you were 15. Okay, yeah. So, wow. Time is sure flying. And the reason I say that is because now by the time this episode has dropped, it will be long past. But on April 18th, she will be 29. It is her 29th birthday tomorrow. We are recording this as of April 17th. So she's getting ready to turn 29. It is her birthday weekend, so of course I had to call her and I had to get her over here. Like it didn't feel right if I didn't stop in Charleston and let her know, like, hey, yeah, I'm down here. It's your birthday, and this is like the first birthday I've caught in a good long while because y'all know I've been in VA. So yeah. With that being said, we've been friends for a long time, obviously, and for those who know, you know that I represent Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, but she represents. Go ahead and say it. Yeah, I'm waiting on you. I'm sorry.
I'll do it.
Yeah, go.
Sigma Gamma Real Sorority Incorporated. Shout out
Hey.
to my SG Rolls in the building.
Indeed. To the lovely pretty poodles out there, and y'all already know what time it is. So I definitely have to we have that connection there as indies. So I had to throw that in there. But anyway, let me get out of this introduction. I want her to introduce herself a little more so that way she can talk about, the things that she wants to let you guys know about herself. So go ahead, Chakana, tell them what it is.
I mean, you kind of said everything. But I'm Chakana, but I go by Kay Reenea. I'm a podcaster, a YouTuber, and an author. I have my podcast, which is Brutal Honesty with Kay Reenea, where I talk about basically everything under the sun, brutally honest. I have a booktube, which is under Kay the Bookworm, where I talk about urban, young adult, and romance novels by all African American authors and only African American authors. Don't ask me to do anything else besides that. And I am now currently a published author with my first book, Close to You, out on Amazon on Kindle and paperback.
Don't be afraid to talk about Black authors or anything. This is a Black space, so you are more than welcome to let it be known that we support blackity black in here. Yeah, exactly.
They don't get to tell me too much.
Indeed, man. So first and foremost, how are you feeling? You about to be in the last year of your 20s. What's that like so far?
I feel happy, honestly. Okay. Last year was a bad year, and the beginning of last year was horrible, and especially around this time last year was horrible, especially when that situation happened, and then COVID on top of that, and not be able to go anywhere like I planned. It sucked. So I mean, granted, I still had a good time. Shout out to Tanisha for doing what she did to help me out, but it was still upsetting because I really wanted to do something, and the fact that I couldn't sucked. I accomplished one thing I can say though. This year made me really open my eyes to a lot of things. I accomplished a lot of my goals this year. I told myself that I was gonna get my license in my car before my 29th birthday, excuse me. And I got them. I got both in the span of 2 weeks. So I mean, that's huge.
Yes, ma'am.
From going from no license and no car to having a license, and then 2 weeks later a car, which actually not even 2 weeks later. Was it 2 weeks later? Yeah, 2 weeks later a car. When I didn't even expect to get a car, I just went to actually just see, and then they told me my credit was outstanding, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it." So from no car to a car and a license within 2 weeks is crazy. My book got published, and I was saying last year that I was writing a book to doing a book in a month, and then sending it off, getting that back by the end of the year, finishing my book on New Year's Eve morning, a month in edits, and then to actually publishing it. It was crazy. I am now networking a lot more.
Hey.
My confidence is definitely going back up. I did a birthday shoot today with Tiffany. Shout out to her.
Okay.
She helped me out. Shout out to my boy DJ for helping me figure out what outfit to wear. Shout out to him. And yeah, so I'm excited. Even though I won't be doing a lot tomorrow. Probably going to brunch, but that's really about it. And I'm okay with that because 29 is just a stepping stone for 30. And I'm ready for my 30th because my 30th I'm going out the country. Where am I going? I don't know, but I'm going out the country.
Oh, well, hey. Honestly, I originally had plans to go out of the country for my 30th, but obviously that has not happened. And with COVID still around, it's like, okay, what can I do? Because I'm not sitting in the house again like I did for my 29th. That was tragic. So, yeah. So 30th, we about to hit up DC. Definitely about to have fun. We about to be lit. And yeah, definitely going to have a lot more fun than I did for my 29th birthday,
As you
unfortunately.
should.
Yeah, we all know that COVID happened, and COVID just changed a lot of the ways that we move. So we just gotta be extra careful now. I know that you're fully vaccinated.
I am.
I got my first dose of Moderna last well, as of this podcast, it was last Friday. So the 10th. No, I lied. The 9th. So yeah, I ended up getting the first dose of that. Felt like a mosquito bite. So I'm just like, all right, well.
The thing was for me, the first one didn't hurt as bad. Like I had like my arm was sore.
Mhm.
That second one like knocked me clean the fuck out.
Oh,
Because
goodness.
I had like a fever like the next morning, my head was pounding and stuff like that. So I was just like, and then like I said, I was doing the podcast. But like I got the shot Wednesday. I was doing the podcast that Saturday. So I was like, Lord, please let me get better before I go around these people, because I don't want to be around these people this way.
Yeah, I'm saying like my next shot is gonna be like 3 days before my birthday, my actual birthday. So I'm like, thankfully the party and whatnot, or what we're doing is we're doing it the weekend after. But still,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be having flu-like symptoms and ish on my actual birthday. Like I'd rather not, but I'm prepared just in case, to deal with that. So yeah, that's one of the other reasons why that happened the way it did. But yeah, we are definitely trying to be safe out here. So we ain't trying to do too much that's going to put us or any of our family at risk. So I will always advocate for the vaccine. I know that my co-hosts Law and Nasa may have some different ideals, but for me, I mean, no, they still. I mean, some of them they're still okay with a vaccine, but I guess as far as them getting it there, I don't know. But it's funny because NASA she actually is signing people up for the vaccine. That's part of her job now. So yeah, she's helping people get signed up and shit like that. So yeah, but y'all already know how I advocate for Black health, and I know that people are still hesitant because of the shit that happened in the past with vaccines and Black people. That being said, still get this vaccine. Please be safe. Please consider your family, your friends, especially those whose immune systems have been compromised. So that being said, let's talk about a few fun things before we actually get deeper into the book talk and whatnot. We are both Marvel heads here, so obviously I know that you watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. I haven't seen episode 5 yet. By the time this episode drops, I would have. Hey, I mean, I was in Colombia. I was dealing with my 7-year-old cousin, man. She is a handful. Oh, I could have. We could have, but it was important that I spend some time with her, because I didn't realize that she was gonna have that much energy. Like the last time I saw her, she was like 4 or 5 years old, and she wasn't bouncing around the way that she is now. She about to be in 2nd grade, and she wore me out. I love her, but Zahara wore me out yesterday. So yeah, but I'm definitely gonna be catching up to that. Without dropping any spoilers, how do you feel about this latest episode?
I liked it a lot better than the 4th one.
Oh, it's better than the 4th?
To me, it is.
Okay.
One of my predictions that I talked about came true.
Oh.
Shout out to me, but I knew we were going to see him again.
Okay.
So, and I'm excited for the 5th one. I hate the fact that it's the last episode before Loki comes on. But I feel like this episode or this season is going to tie into something, but I just don't know what. I really can't talk about it because if I talk about it, it's going to spoil it. So
yeah.
I gotta keep it to
myself.
But
still, and you said Loki was about to come out, right?
Yes, Loki comes out in, I believe, May.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And it's kind of interesting because I say that Loki, while initially he wasn't my favorite Marvel villain, like at all.
But do you consider him a villain?
In cartoon series and in the comic books, yes. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself, not as much anymore. Especially after unfortunately, Thanos ended this man's life. So it's just kind of like, dang, yo. Well, there's that. So, but I guess he would be considered, I guess, I don't know. I don't want to call him an anti-hero, but maybe an anti-villain.
I could see anti-villain.
Yeah, it's just someone. I mean, he's a villain, but at times, if given the right circumstances, he'll help you when if But that's just how I see it. I can't really pinpoint it. But yeah, that'll be interesting, and I can't wait for that to come out. I'm trying to think if Marvel is actually doing anything else. I know that.
What if?
You said what?
The what if?
The what if?
Yeah.
I'm
excited for that.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. And see, I'm trying to get back on making sure that I'm caught up because I've been with me
and they
being
just said that they just wrapped up Doctor Strange. Apparently Doctor Strange is wrapping up like sometime.
Okay, nah.
Either wrapping up or already wrapped up.
Okay.
By the time this comes out.
I'm definitely waiting for Doctor Strange to come out.
Super excited for that.
Yes.
I'm ready to see Wanda again.
Indeed. That'll be interesting. Oh my goodness, the Scarlet Witch and the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Especially when they said that she's gonna be the villain.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the villain in the movie, so I'm excited to see it.
Oh goodness. You think we're gonna see Agatha again?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it wouldn't be. Wanda wouldn't have said what she said if we wasn't going to see Agatha again.
Okay.
Remember she told Agatha that I'll know where to find you if I need you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would have had that specific line in there if they didn't tell us that she was coming. Coming back.
You're right. And considering their relationship in the comics is kind of sort of the same in the MCU, it'll be interesting because they definitely have a love-hate relationship. Yes. So, I was gonna say that with Loki, as far as him being one of my favorite villains, he wasn't initially, but the way that Tom Hiddleston has pretty much brought Loki to life has made me like him a lot more. So, that's just me personally. Yeah, my favorite Marvel villain is Carnage. So I'm just saying, Carnage is crazy and homicidal. So that's the Spider-Man fan to me. So yeah, y'all know how I feel about my Spider-Man. So yeah. I am looking forward to this, and hopefully I'll be able to catch up with Falcon and Winter Soldier after this. Cool. So I want to talk a little bit about Invincible, but Chakana has not seen it yet.
Haven't seen it yet. Sorry.
Hey, it's all good. But with Invincible, we will I'll just say that I saw the latest episode, and this was episode 6 that just came out. Definitely still some interesting twists and turns in this series, and I am pleasantly surprised at where it's going. As I told Chakana, I know she said that she watched the first few minutes and it wasn't interesting, but I told her just watch until the end.
I plan to watch it tonight.
Cool.
I have to watch it tonight because I'm on another podcast and I do reviews with them and they watch it. They are heavy on it and they got on my ass about not watching it. So I have to watch it tonight. So I will be definitely watching it tonight just to see what the hype is about.
Okay. Please make sure that you do. I promise you will enjoy it, once you give it a chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is a little toasty in here, so I'm trying to see if this fan will turn on. Hopefully it works. I pray to God it works. Yeah. Right. So as far as movies, for those of you who know, I do Smash Bash or Trash. Obviously, I haven't watched anything recent as of yet, but of course, the next movie on the list that's coming up is Mortal Kombat. By the time this episode drops, obviously, I would have already watched it, so I'll make sure that I give my review in the very next episode. Y'all are gonna, hear how I feel about it. If it's anything about, I didn't read any spoilers, but some of the reviews I've read, they've actually said they try to stay true to the game. Y'all know I love my Mortal Kombat. Shoot, man, I would have bought my PS4 with me and been playing that, but too much stuff to carry, and I'm not trying to bring the whole house with me. So yeah, y'all know I love Mortal Kombat, and I can't wait for this movie to come. I can't wait for it to drop. I'm gonna be watching it on HBO Max. And then for the anime heads,
that was the reason why my brother got it. Got HBO Max was because he brought it because of Mortal Kombat, and then Godzilla in
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely saw that one. We talked about it in the a couple of previous episodes ago, and yeah, I already gave my opinion of it. Godzilla is the king of kaiju for a reason, and I'm just gonna say it because I know NASA is a big King Kong fan, but Godzilla whacks that ass. So yeah, there's that. Trying to think if there's any other movies that might be coming out that I want to highlight for this particular segment, but nope, I can't think of any at the moment. Oh, for the anime heads. Obviously Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train is actually going to be coming out. So if you are into that series, definitely try to get your tickets as much as you possibly can because it's finally going to be broadcast in America. I know I'm definitely getting my tickets. I've been reading Demon Slayer and I've gotten past this segment. I'm eventually going to finish the manga. I just don't like waiting, especially for an anime series that's at least semi good. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking that out. I know some of my anime followers really they're kind of on Demon Slayer, whatever. I mean, that's y'all opinion. I'm not hard to please. So there's that. All right, NBA talk. So real quick, the playoffs are going to be coming up pretty soon here. It is April, and usually right around this time the playoffs will start, but obviously because of COVID.
Hold on, let me just say this. Shout out to Dwayne Wade for being a new partner of the
Utah Jazz. Yeah, saw that.
Out to him. I saw that yesterday, and I was just like, look at my favorite player doing business. I said, shout out to him.
Yes, sir, man. D Wade he's moving up, man, and I all hats off to him. I will celebrate these players more than I will celebrate these franchises. But if a player has invested in a franchise, more power to you, man. Y'all doing the thing. So definitely shout out to D Wade. Just to catch everybody up on that because I haven't really had too much sports talk. Obviously, the Utah Jazz is still leading the West, but they just took an L to the Lakers. And the Lakers still don't have everybody back. So
apparently they're supposed to have AD back soon.
Okay,
that's what they said, but I don't know how true that is.
Well, we about to see, man. Look, Andre Drummond apparently has made somewhat of a difference maker for them. So this will definitely be interesting to see how this plays out in the playoffs. I really don't want the Lakers to win again, but I honestly don't know who can beat them for real at this juncture. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. My Bulls. Even with Vucevic, even with Zach LaVine, who's still trash. It's tough being a Bulls fan, y'all. I'm sorry. It is, but I gotta make do what I make. I just have to make do with that. The Nets are an interesting story. I did not realize that Kyrie became a Muslim. Oh, that's a surprise to you?
Kyrie who, Irving?
Yes.
Get out.
Have you seen him do like him praying in the middle of a game?
I've seen it, but I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought that he was, doing.
Yeah,
whoa, that's news.
Yeah, because I saw a couple of tweets. Yeah, I saw a couple of tweets where he was saying like he did the greeting. They did assalamu alaikum, and he said Yim alaikum salam. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
That's new.
You converted to Islam, bro? I mean, by all means, if that's what you,
do you?
Yeah, do you? If that's what you want to focus on, hey, by all means, plenty of great NBA players are of the Muslim faith. So I'm just surprised.
That means he's doing
Ramadan.
Yes.
And if I don't know how he's gonna be. Honestly, I don't know how he's adjusting to that because with Ramadan, with the whole fasting, from pretty much from sun up to sundown.
I feel like that's something you really have to grow up in. You just can't go cold. Like you just can't go cold turkey on that. That's just me. That's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what you have to do.
You'd have to be disciplined to do that kind of thing.
Sure.
They did.
I messed with a dude that was that
he was
Islam. He was yes.
Oh,
he did Ramadan.
Okay.
Around the time me and him started talking.
I think I saw an interview with him with Enes Kanter, and he was just like, hey, look, he's a Muslim, but he's been doing this since who knows how long, so he's used to that. But with Kyrie, man, hats off to you if you can make it to the end, doing what you're supposed to do. More power to you. For those who are of the Islam faith, I wish you a very happy
Yes, for
Ramadan.
sure.
Please, just look out for yourselves. Obviously, I know that you guys are trained to fast and whatnot, but just do not, don't push yourself if you can't, obviously, but be sure that you still dedicate yourself to your faith. I appreciate you guys for that. We are going to take a quick break here because then we're going to talk a little bit more about Chakana's book and her other endeavors here. So do not move. We will be right back. This message is brought to you by Already Paid. Already Paid is more than a brand. It's a lifestyle. Where else can you find the richest quality apparel for the lowest price? Shop with us at foreverap.com and join the Already Paid family, or find our Black-owned business located at Stony Point Mall in Richmond, Virginia. You can also follow us at AP Styles, that's APSTYLSS, on Instagram. Be you. Get paid. Forever. And we're back from our break. So let's get into our topic for today, which is all about Kay Reenea, and her ventures and her book. Kay, if you don't have to spoil the book if you don't want to, but definitely tell us about the book and give us at least a little backstory, and what can the readers expect when they're reading your book.
Well, for one, my book is YA, which is adult fiction. So young adult fiction. So I know it's not gonna be for a lot of people, but if you have like a little cousin or a sister or even a brother who reads, it's for them. It is about two high school students, Anthony and Michelle, who knew of each other in high school, but they really don't get close until their junior summer, going into their senior year, because Anthony's older brother Jarrell is dating Michelle's aunt Erin. So there go, like, and that's kind of how like it trickles down. They're both in Houston having fun, interesting, that they kind of like gel, become like very close friends.
Okay.
And then you go back to Jones Hills, North Carolina, which is a fictional town that I created, and you get to see them in their senior year.
Okay.
Anthony is a big time wide receiver, like his brother, who also is in the NFL. But everybody wants Anthony to go into the path of his brother and his father, because his father is also a retired NFL player who came back home and now is a head coach for Somerville High School, which Anthony is the captain of. And a lot of people want him to go in that direction, but Anthony has his own plans. And then Michelle, she is trying to leave Jones Hills because of a situation that happened in her home life, to where she is now not at the time she wasn't, but now she is adopted. She's adopted to with her the owner of the job she works at. Like, so that's her. Like, she lives with her now for a reason. There's a reason behind that. And yeah, so it's basically just the ins and out of a high school student and what they have to entail when you're in your senior year.
Okay. Give me some ideas about your thought process. How did you finalize this story?
Okay, so I tell people this all the time. And I hate telling. I low key laugh because people like when I tell them the story, it's just like, Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, okay. So Anthony and Michelle were minor characters
Hmm.
in a whole other book.
Oh.
So here's the thing. So Jarrell and Aaron were actually my main characters that I was going to create.
Mm-hmm.
Had the book already out. Like their book was basically kind of not even semi done. I think they were like just. I was like that book was like a slow burn book, so it was getting there. And then at work, after when I was typing one day, I was like, I need Jarrell to have like a sibling. So Anthony popped up first.
Mm-hmm.
In Anthony, Jarrell in Aaron's book, Anthony is a freshman.
Okay.
So this is 2 years later and close to you.
Okay.
So and Michelle came to me, but at the time she was just a employee at Aaron's older sister bakery, but she was just very close to them because they knew her about her home life and stuff like that. So they were just close. They didn't know each other at all. And then when I was at work one day, a scene popped up that involved Michelle that's in the book, that's actually in the book. And I don't know why it was, but I wrote it. And I said, this is like two of my friends. And my friends were like, put this in the book that you're working on now. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. But it didn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of kept it in in the dungeon until the next day. Anthony kept talking to me and then Michelle and Anthony. So I was like, man, F this. I'm just going to write the book. So I wrote the book starting, I think, like early December, no, early November or mid November during sometime. I think sometime during Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it, and I knew I wanted to publish, so I sent one book and this book to two different publications. They both liked it. I did my praying, and now I signed with Reign of Light Literature, which is publications, which is an all black female publishing house. Shout out to Aubrey Penn and Sky Moon, who are the co-owners of it. And then I finished. I told myself that I was going to finish. Even before I signed, I was like, I'm going to finish this book before the New Year's over with. I told myself that. So I gave myself a month to finish. And I finished exactly on December 31st, 2020 at 6:22 a.m.
Wow. Wow. Say, well, look, I appreciate you like taking me through that journey of how you finalized it. Do you think that we'll ever get like maybe as the story continues, do you think we'll get a prequel with the original story?
That's a good question. I was starting to work back on that book, but Aaron and Jarrell was just like, don't talk about us, but talk about us in a different limelight. So
hey, look. Sometimes the characters will talk to you and
like,
yeah.
Sis, I think it was like, sis, I think you've outgrown that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you want to talk about it, but just like take like certain scenes from that book and put it in the book they were working on. So I was going to work on their book, and then there's one of the other characters who I needed a sister from, and so I got a sister, and then she started talking to me, and then this other girl who was going to be like a side character of Jarrell, like kind of like play like a little playground sister type role.
Mm-hmm.
She started talking to me, and I was like, you know what, forget it. So I just put them together. So now I'm working on that book.
Things happen.
The book I'm working on now. If it's been a year since I came out to the world that I am an openly bisexual woman, and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that nobody really done before, especially in like Black romance area. That's like new adult. So I read Nick Stone. I went out. Who I am a huge fan of Nick Stone. I know this is weird and cocky to say, but you know how people be like, I'm like the next blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call myself the Nick Stone of Black romance. That's what I call myself. I like to call myself that. Between her, Leah Johnson, who had her first book ever, You Should See Me in a Crown, and Jerron Perez with The Stars and the Black Things Between Them. That was my number one book of 2020, just because of the poetry, just because it really helped me embrace my sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Between those three books, I was just like, I want to write a book about two Black women who were leads, who were both bisexual, looking for love. And I wrote it on Facebook at first, and they said they read it. Just like, I want to read it, but I went on Twitter, and it got a lot of good responses. A lot of people was just like, "When is this book coming out? Are you writing it now?" Blah blah blah. So I mentioned the three authors that I just said in a post, and all three of them retweeted it, repost my post, repost my story.
Wow.
So the fact that they reposted my story just gave me more of a push to create it. The little bit I can tell you, it is, like I said, it is going to be a sports romance because one of the characters, Jordan, is going to be a basketball player. She is part of the Amethyst Falls Pumas, another city that I created that's located in Alabama.
Okay.
And Janae is a grad student in athletic training.
Okay.
And then they meet on an app that I also created, and you kind of go from there.
Hey, well, I'm very excited to hear what you got in store. Please continue to talk your shit. Like, you know, as you said, like if you see yourself on that next level, please get there. You know, obviously, I'm going to support you one way or the other. So it don't matter what you do. All you got to do is say, hey, can you do this, this, and this? And I'm like, all right, cool. What you need? So, yeah. As far as other stories, like have you had any ideas of, I guess, just different genres that you want to eventually write about?
Like outside of Black romance?
Well, yeah,
Or-
like if you were thinking like maybe, you know, do something in the fantasy realm or do something that's just not necessarily romance but maybe mystery or
Wherever the Lord takes me.
hey, that's good.
Oh, like I tell people, I love urban fiction, but I know I'm not an urban fiction writer. I know I'm not. So, I mean, if I want to expand my brand to where I will want to go that route, cool. But my tagline is pinning complex back love, timeless complex back love.
Okay.
So I just want to focus on that. For this one, for close to you, I wanted to do like when you read my book, I want you to feel like the fields of high school again, like your first love type thing. Anthony, to me, in my personal opinion, is like the boyfriend I always wanted in high school. The loving, caring person who also is fine, but also plays sports. But at the same time, always cares about your feelings. Very empathetic. Not an empathetic person, but like kind of like, yeah, we could say empathetic. He like really presses his emotions on his sleeves and stuff like that. Michelle is she's also empathetic, but at the same time, she's very closed off because of the situations that's been going on in her home life. I'll give you a little bit. Her father passes away from cancer when she was like 10, 11. So, and then you have a mother who's basically there, but not there. And she's trying to show like, I'm here, but you're not seeing me type situation. So there's a reason behind why she's like, I want love and I have love from like my boss and her family, but it's not like exactly mine. And then with the characters, I was not going to make them be related, but because talking to one of my pen sisters who read it and loved it, they are going to be related now. And that I'm doing that story. Actually, I'm doing that story tonight. Yes, tonight, so it could be posted tomorrow because that is going to be an exclusive little short on my mailing list. So if you're not signed up on my mailing list, you're not going to get that story any elsewhere. So yeah. Okay. But no, like I said, if I decide to go that route, cool. If I get a character that tells me she wants to go or he wants to go mystery, cool. But as of right now, no. Kind of funny. I'm not even finished with book 2, and I've already have book 3 in the process. No. I have like a theme for. I have like where I want to go for book 3. So, and that is going to involve Jordan's little sister. Okay. And a football player that's mentioned in the story, and they're going to be like kind of like a enemies to lovers type situation.
Funny that you mentioned that. It's just really crazy that you talk about that. I'll talk to you about this after the podcast ends, because yeah, it's really funny how you talk about that. But cool. I cannot wait to see what you have in store. The fact that you already have, are writing book 2 and book 3, that should say, a lot to your work ethic. Please continue to, write and stay booked as much as you possibly can, and get these people active and out there. As you're obviously, you just coming out as an author, so it's like,
It's hard.
yeah,
It is
it's
so. That's one thing I can't say. Doing a podcast on YouTube, you just post it, boom, this is out there, you promote.
yep.
Books is so hard
Mm,
because everybody's doing a book. Granted, I've had, good reviews. I think the lowest I've had was like a 2, and that crushed me
yeah.
because I was just like, what is it I'm not doing? But I just had, like, talking to Christina C. Jones about it and talking to Nick Stone actually answering a question that I asked her, just pushed me back in a situation like I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to read it, cool. If not, then it is what it is. I'm not really pressed about it. Like, I'm pressed, but I'm not like super pressed. Like, oh my gosh, I want to quit pressed.
Right.
But yeah.
Hey, look, even that goes back to the conversation that I had with you. I was like, man, you just starting this journey, man.
Yes.
And it's gonna be, unfortunately, there's gonna be people out there that, for whatever reason, they're gonna find ways to dislike what you put out there, regardless if it's a book or regardless if it's content on your YouTube or whatever. Like, they're gonna find reasons to hate. They hate us just because they like to hate.
That is facts.
So, we can't focus on the negative, man, because unfortunately, I'm of the mindset. I'm like, you love it, cool. You don't like it, it ain't for you.
Exactly.
Yep. So just have to keep it a buck now, because I think when I was younger, I had that same mindset. Like, dang, I hope they like this. Dang, I hope I want everybody to like me, and I want everybody to like what I'm doing. I'm at the age now. I'm like, all right, that ain't gonna happen. People just out there just to be spiteful for no effing reason.
Like I said,
trying
I'm
to cuss someone mom's
29,
house. So
and I don't really have time for people liking me or not liking me
uh-huh.
at this point in my life right now. Because last year I was just like, if they don't like me, I'm upset. Like, I just want to like forget it, blah blah blah. Now I'm like, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. If
Yeah.
you like me, cool. If not, okay.
Okay.
Sis, bye.
Right. So definitely keep putting in the work. Do you have any other ventures that you got going on other than your book? I know these are your babies right now, but are you doing anything else?
Just the podcast right now. My podcast has been really going well. Like I said, I did my first ever music interview last weekend.
Okay.
With Kennard. Shout out to him. He is co-host of Bad Takes by Power by Manifest with his best friend DJ. Shout out to them. They reached out to me, which was weird because I was just like, y'all listen to my shit? No. I was like, what? Because Kennard is actually he's an artist, and he he released his album 24 back in March. And I was like, listen to it. And there was one song on there, No Comparison, that when I listened to it, I was like, automatic scene in my head. I could already see the scene in my head.
Ooh.
So I reposted it. I tweeted it and they reposted it. And then I think about 2 weeks later, about around the same time, either 2 weeks later or a week before, or like a week later or something like that, DJ, his manager, hit me up and was like, do you have guests in your podcast? And I was like, yeah, have you done different honesty, baby? Yeah. And he was like, have you had a musical guest in your podcast? I was like, no, I haven't. And he was just like, well, like, would you mind if like KJ, like, Kennard, excuse me, comes on? I was like, yeah, like, let's set this up, blah blah blah. So we set it up, and during the time they asked me if I wanted to go on their podcast. I was like, okay, because they do lives every Tuesday. They go on their podcast on IG and do lives. So I basically was like a stan, so I kind of watched it, and then the last live that they did. So like 2 weeks ago, last part that they did, I hopped on towards the end talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff. And they shouted me out and stuff. So I was like, shout out to y'all. Appreciate the love, gang.
Hey.
And then we did the podcast last week and it was fun. We talked for like 4 hours.
Wow.
Just talking.
Wow.
We did me and Kennard, which was like I think about 30 minutes long. And then we got on their podcast, me and Tiff, and just talked for like hours back and forth. They were real cool people, dope as hell. They basically called me and Tiffany old because they're young. They're the youngins. They're the babies.
How old are they?
They're like 24.
Wow.
And they call me old. I know, right?
Hey, look, it's not the first time. Trust me.
Oh, it's not. But I don't look my age, so I ain't tripping about it.
Shit, me either.
So, but no, they're really, really, really cool dudes. They're supposed to be, hopefully, whenever they have time and they're free, they're coming on my podcast on Brutal Honesty. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay.
So that like I said, author spotlights been going great. I do not have any more for the month of April, but on May 1st, I'm interviewing my first ever New York New York Times bestseller author.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
You got New York Times best-selling authors on your pod now.
Yeah.
Man.
JL, she is the author of Wings of Ebony, and I was on her street team. Shut up!
Sorry.
Shut up.
If y'all didn't, I know y'all can't see, but I was just bowing. Like she knows that I
Whatever,
gotta.
bro.
Hey, I gotta hype you up every chance I get.
Oh,
So.
but no. So I got her coming. I was on her street team, and I just DM'd her manager. I messaged her manager one day. I was like, "Hey, do you mind if JL will come on my podcast? Like, it's not big or whatever, but it's small, and I do author spotlights." I'm like, "Yeah, let's set one up for February."
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to do February, but my grandma passed, and then like 3 days later, my aunt passed, both from COVID, and I was like, I shut the fuck down. I was like, done. So when she emailed me like the day before, I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot. I apologize. Like, my grandma and my aunt died within a week, like in a couple of days span of each other. My mind was going crazy. And she's like, yeah, no worries. Like, can we just schedule? I was like, can we schedule for May? And she said, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I'm currently reading her book now while I'm doing my book. So it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I have to go ahead and start getting the I want to try to finish it soon. Hopefully by the end of this week coming up, I hopefully should be done with this so I can go ahead and get the questions and all this stuff. So yeah, so I got her coming. I did email Nick Stone, but she's currently working and doing all her stuff for her book that's coming out in August. But the good thing is her agent did recommend me to someone else who also is a New York Times bestseller, but she's working on her deadline as well. So she was just like, whenever somebody has free time, I'll let you know and we go from there. So I'm really trying to expand the author spotlights. It'll be a year in July since I did that.
Mm-hmm.
With my first one, Portia Dion. So shout out to Portia. Because if it wasn't for Portia, then nobody ever would have been on. That's just facts. That's just like straight up facts. Hopefully for the 1 year I'll be in her talks, and I want her to come back for the 1 year for sure. Because I did not record when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
I think my first recording was with Alexandria Warren, and it kind of got a trickle effect from there. So the fact that I have, I've made all these connections, is a blessing. Definitely a huge blessing in disguise. I wrote Nick Stone. I was supposed to get a tattoo yesterday. Did not get a tattoo because everybody was freaking booked. I don't understand why every freaking tattoo shop is fucking booked in fucking South Carolina or Charleston specifically. But I just wanted one was a tattoo. That was it. But it was an acronym that Nick Stone did when she said that when she was doing like a summit, and I was watching it on Zoom, and it was powerful. And she was going by, where so P stands for persistence, O stands for openness, W stands for wonder, E stands for elasticity, and R stands for rebel.
Okay.
And I was going to get it right here on my forearm. And so every time I look at it, I know that I'm powerful. So I wrote her that. I was like, hey, I know this is kind of random, but I was in the summit and you were talking about your acronym for powerful, and I loved it. And I was going to tattoo it on me on my forearm for my birthday. And I was like, listen, so every time I see it, I'm powerful. She was like, that is so, she wrote me back late as night, late. I wasn't even expecting her to write me back.
Mm-hmm.
That is so dope. Please let me see it when you get it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I'm trying to get it. Everybody book. Just whenever you get it, definitely tag me in it. And I reposted all that stuff. I was like, I want to say shout out to Tiffany. Tiffany is my dog. If it wasn't for Tiffany and inviting me to go to Y'all Fest, which is like a young adult book festival they have in Charleston every year, 2 years ago, back in 2019, and me reading Dear Martin, if it wasn't for her, I would have never known Nick Stone. I would never know Angie Thomas, Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson. I would never know none of them. So shout out to her. I tell Tiffany this every day. Shout out to you because you are the one that really pressed the button of me getting into more reading. Because all I was just urban fiction. So the fact that I'm now also urban fiction love and young adult, shout out to her.
I am just so amazed at all the connections that you were able to make in such a short amount of time, and I hope that you can continue to make these connections. I always have my friends, man. Y'all already know. Like I will always say that they are going far, but Kana is very near and dear to my heart. So I always have to, make sure that she knows that she's going places, especially if she continues putting in that work on these books and keeps making these connections. Sky's the limit at this point, man.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
it ain't no way that she's not going to be a great author within the next couple years. Like it just ain't no way. It's going to happen. So yeah, I am really excited for the things that you got going on and excited for the things that are going to come. Um, Definitely an exciting time for you. As long as stay focused and don't let the riffraff distract you. Excuse me, because there's a lot of these motherfuckers out here. We ain't gonna talk about that because you already
we
know.
can talk about it. We can talk about it. We definitely talk about it.
Anyway, man, yeah, these you got some crazy folk out here. That's all I'm just gonna say.
Just doing what I'm doing now, and I would tell this to anybody. If you would have told me a year ago that I was doing the stuff I'm doing now, I would have laughed in your face. Last year was just so traumatizing. And I know people don't like, why are you bringing up the past? Blah, blah, blah. 'Cause it helped me out. Like, the past helped me out. I was on the urge of wanting to, like, end my life last year. Not just because of the situation that happened with the fuck nigga or whatever. It was that and other things. It's like everybody has, like, their plan and stuff like that working for them. Like, why am I not doing what I need to do? I was like, maybe I was like, okay, so what if I just don't live here anymore? I don't live here anymore. Like,
oh goodness.
I was at that, that range. And I remember like just praying to God, like show me a sign. And I wrote my journal one day and I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like I was really about to kill myself, like legit. And if it wasn't for my best friend Ace stopping me when he calling me when he did, I probably wouldn't be here.
Wow. I think I don't know if this is the first time I'm hearing this. It's just like, wow, I did not realize that it had gotten that far.
Because it was just like the situation that happened.
Yeah.
But it was just like, what did I do to deserve that? I didn't do anything wrong, so why didn't? First of all, why couldn't you tell me straight up? And second, why would you wait until like 3 months before I got? No, not even 3 months, like 2 months before I was supposed to come up and see you. You do that, and then I got your name. I got my ticket. Like really, my dude?
Yeah, man. People are trifling. That's incredibly trifling, and you really just don't know how your actions can actually affect somebody. So
and then the apology wasn't even a real freaking apology. So it was even worse. So I'm like, my dude, come on.
Yeah. I'm just so surprised, but I'm so thankful that you are still here with us because I'm just be frank with you, man. And had I heard that you were no longer here because of something like that, I don't even know what I would have been doing. Like because I already said that after Jalen had passed with that incident, I'm like, if I can be there for a friend, I need to be there. If I can stop them from going over the edge, please let me know. And just so that we're clear, anytime that you feel like that, please text or please call me.
I will. Yeah. I haven't had any of those type of feelings anymore. So
that's good.
I've been doing a lot better, like a whole lot better than what I, last year. I'm just in a place now where I'm like, I'm happy.
Good.
It's the last of my 20s. Do I want a relationship? Yes. I want one so bad, but I'm not going to press it anymore like I've been doing. And I think that's one thing for me too that I'm upset about. Is like I wasted my 20s on wanting a relationship so bad that I didn't really get to enjoy my singleness until like now. And that sucks.
Well, I mean, you talking to a hopeless romantic here myself, so
I'm a hopeless romantic too.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So I think I don't know. I think something clicked where it's just like, all right, look, I'm not gonna sit here and chase nobody no more. You either want me or you don't. Exactly. And if you don't, cool. I'm a mind my business.
My shot, and shit don't go nowhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? What am I doing in my life? And then I was like, you know what? I have to work on me, so that's why I'm wearing more outfits and changing and stuff. That's why I went out and spent like over $200 worth of clothes that I don't even really do on myself anymore. Brought me some Dark Martens.
Okay.
That are expensive as hell. Dark Martens are like $150. I was not expecting that. And then with tax, it was like $160. I'm like, sis, what the freak did I buy?
Well, I mean, at least you're happy. You know, I know it's expensive,
what
but
the
hey,
fuck?
yeah, it's.
I was like, God damn. I was like, because we went to Journeys, and I was like, oh, there they are. And I'm like, 100 and what? I was like, bruh, why are they so expensive?
This kind of reminds me. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna get into this portion in the next segment because this kind of feels like me and my love hate relationship with Nike. But stick around.
Talking about those shoes,
ma'am. Look, y'all know how, and it's not just the ones, but I'm gonna talk about the sneakers app in just a second. Y'all don't move. I'll be right back. We're gonna finish this conversation. We're gonna sign off. Don't move. All right, yeah. So about the sneakers app, y'all. I have a personal. I ain't gonna say it's a personal beef, but I'm having beef right now with sneakers because it's just like, dang, yo. So the latest ones came out, and granted, they're not the best looking ones, but I'm like, dang, you know what? I have like one real pair of Jordans that was given to me as a gift. So I'm like, you know what, man? Let me see if I can get another one. Like at 9:59, of course, I put my name in the draw. I'm like, okay.
First of all, when did the sale start?
It started at like 10 a.m. this morning.
Okay.
But like 9:59, that it opened up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and put my information through. It was like right before I got to the house today. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna do this real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go on to the crib. I should be good by the time I get there. I'm thinking I was able to put my joint in earlier than last time. I'm gonna win this draw. Man, sneakers app ain't nothing but a big old disappointment. And that's putting it mildly. Because it's not the fact that I didn't get that particular shoe. It's the fact that I'm not successful at any point in time on that app. And it's like, dang, yo, I wish I would really just put this on the Nike store so I could just go and cop them and be cool. But no, y'all, man, look, let me not get to ranting because I will literally do a rant on sneakers app.
Let me just say this about Nike. Nike can kiss my ass. So guys don't know, WNBA is coming on next month. I'm a huge fan. I love the jerseys. Except the
up to date jerseys are
yes,
absolute fire.
Except the Dallas Wings Rebel jerseys. So here's the thing: I didn't know nothing. I'm very ignorant. I can admit I did not know nothing about the symbolism of the Wings jerseys until they got recalled. So I am a huge Dallas Wing fan. I love Erika. Erika. I'm not even going to pronounce her last name because it's African, and I do not want to mess it up. But I love her. I was a fan of Sky. I am still a fan of Skylar, but since Skylar left to go to Phoenix, I'm still a Wings fan, and whatever. So I bought that, and then I also brought Asia Wilson jersey because represents South Carolina. So I brought it, and then I saw on Twitter that they were recalling the Wings Rebel jersey. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and cancel my order. I went on Nike. Tell me why they canceled my Asia, but not the Dallas one. So I was like, bro, why did you cancel my Dallas, like my Las Vegas one? Oh, because that one went out, sold out real quickly, so we just refunding your money. I was like, so you didn't send me an email stating that you did? I was like, just delete both. And I got myself from Dick's. Plus, Dick's had the Dallas jersey I wanted anyway, which was the home one. So I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna just forget it. I was so pissed.
Man, yeah, and I see what you're talking about that Dallas Wings
Yeah,
jersey
I
and
was
whatnot.
so mad. I was like, bruh.
But shout out to Charlie Collier for being the number 1 draft pick in the WNBA.
Yeah, and she went to the Wings.
Yeah,
Shout out
yes,
Muses.
yes.
Shout out to Didi for going to the New York Liberty. I'm not even a Liberty fan, but I am a huge Didi fan. So I'm definitely going to buy a jersey. And she retweeted my tweet when I told her congratulations.
Oh,
After she hearted my tweet, so I told her congratulations.
That's what's up. That's what's
So
up.
I'm like, shout out to you, sis.
Hey, yo, I'm just really going back and looking through at these WNBA jerseys, man, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what?
They fire.
Y'all can say what y'all want about the WNBA, but if nothing else, so yo, those girls can play,
Yes,
and
they can.
these jerseys are absolute fire. So yeah, man, but Nike. I'm gonna get off the subject because I know I'm liable to like absolutely like cuss them all the way off, and I'm not gonna do that because again I'm trying to be respectful of my mama's crib. So we will go ahead, and I think we've had a great conversation here, so we will go ahead and sign off. But before we do, we always got to highlight or shout out any Black businesses, Black podcasts, or Black authors in your case. So
all right. So for me, for businesses and podcasts, 2 in 1. Shout out to the Manifest Effect. Like I said, they are basically a whole brand. They do. They have a lot of artists on their roster. Kennard, JJ, and there's a girl. I don't know. I think Tiana, I believe. Shout out to DJ, who is the founder of it. He is a publicist. He is a manager. He is the person that does the merch that's coming out very soon. They also have candles that smell amazing. Only $10.
wow,
$5 shipping. Come on, sis. I've already bought 3 so far.
Okay.
I'll show you the candles so you can see how they look. They look freaking. Then they smell amazing. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. Shout out to them. Shout out to Bad Takes Podcast powered by Manifest. Definitely will be back on for sure. They're great guys, dope as hell. Kennard's music is amazing. These are the candles.
Oh, that's different.
Yes,
that's hella different.
And they smell amazing.
Okay. Hey.
They smell freaking amazing. So shout out to them. As far as Arthur, shout out to my Pen sisters at our RLP, Reign of Lit publication. Shout out to them. Let me put you on some people. Let me put you on to Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Tiffany D. Jackson. If it's not a Tiffany D. Jackson book, if it's not a thriller book that's not written by Tiffany D. Jackson, I don't want it. Let me see. RB Payne, Sky Moon, Cage, Kiera, Day, T Sapphire. She got a book coming out. Shout out to her. I'm trying to think on top of the dome. Christina C. Jones, Nicole Falls, Alexandria Horn. Definitely Alexandria, who is I call her the sports romance queen, because every book that she basically writes about is about sports romance, and she does it so well. Who else am I trying to think of? I don't have anybody. Like, I can't think of the top of my dome right now. I'm trying to think who's on my bookshelf. Oh, Cian Phillip, shout out to her. That's like my big sister in my head. Every book that I have from her is personally autographed by her. I don't buy my books through Amazon. I buy them directly through her. And that's really about it. So definitely make sure you check those out. Check out my book, which is close to you. It's on Amazon and it's on paperback as well as Kindle. Kindle for only 99¢. Like, you got $1 to spare. Like, come on, help me out.
Word. Definitely be sure that you go and check out Kay Reenea's book, Close to You. As you said, I've been loafing, so I definitely am going to be purchasing this book. As always, I made a promise. I'm gonna keep that promise.
You
so
make that promise.
You see, she over here threatening me.
Books for sale that I need to give away.
Yeah.
I got like 7 books at home that I need to give away.
Okay, cool. Well, let me go ahead and send some of that cash through. As far as Black podcasts, of course, as always, big shout out to Truth and Transparency podcast with my boy Malcolm. Definitely shout out to the session or the session 757 with Trey and Jay. I don't know if I'm a bit behind on my podcast here, so I definitely have to pick it back up. But I'm going to be doing that as I travel back to Hampton at the end of this week. So, definitely shout out to the Anime Podcast as always. Shout out to Anime Podcast with Unbothered Mike and Sine. Shout out to Worst Generation Podcast with all 9 of y'all. I'm not about to name y'all, but y'all know who y'all are. Shout out to Inside the Mind of a Blurred. Special shout out, of course, to my boy Scuba Steve, even though we had a little bit of a not like a disagreement, but just more so we going back on anime takes. So I have to, I'm gonna challenge him a little bit on that one. For those who don't know, obviously, Worst Generation is doing a Run My Fade tournament, and I am having a bit of a I have beef with Gon and Killua of Hunter x Hunter right now. And there's a reason why, but I'll tell y'all. I might tell you about that later in the next anime episode that I do with Panda. So yeah, there's that. Shout out to Black Anime. Shout out to Mike Check Waifu. Definitely with Polo and Tell. You already know what time it is. Shout out to Relatable versus Debatable. Yeah, I messed that all the way up. But yeah, shout out to Relatable versus Debatable.
There we go.
Yep, there we go. With Charvon, Sappy, and of course my brother and former roommate Heita. Definitely check them out if you have not been able to do so. Big shout out to Talk No Jutsu. I just started listening to y'all, so I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that. Shout out to Spicy Lady who finally followed me on Twitter. So shout out to you. Definitely had a nice little conversation on Twitter Spaces since Bland and Worst Gen do Anime After Dark, but unfortunately they only limited to iPhones, and I refuse to assimilate, so they were able to do it on Twitter.
To come on the show. I mean, come on the panel. Step into the light, my brother.
Y'all got it. Yeah. I think as far as Black podcasts, that's all that I had, at least for right now, as far as the local podcasts and whatnot, and for my homies and all of that. I'm pretty sure that there's more out there, but I'll y'all know, charges in my head and not my heart. But anyway, as far as Black businesses, please be sure that y'all check out KSS Brand with Christina Stewart. The interview was literally just last week. Please check out her stuff, especially. Definitely shout out to my boy Zach Hans from the last interview that we did. If you have not listened to the 3 singles by The Vibe, please be sure that you go to your favorite streaming platform and listen to those 3 songs. It's Welcome to the Vibe, Musical Language, and Deep Thoughts. Especially if you have some time on your hands, just take a listen. It can't hurt.
Let me just say this too. Shout out to Kimberly Elise. I didn't know today was her birthday.
Oh, okay.
She's 54. Shout out to her. Another Aries queen. I realized a lot of Aries. There's a lot of Aries. Mariah Carey, Ari Lennox, Jasmine Sullivan.
Y'all got some.
Pharrell, Kid from Kid and Play.
Yeah, but
like Aries gang, shout out.
Hey, shout out to y'all Aries, but we already know what time it is because in the next couple of days,
coming.
Taurus season is upon us.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
3 days?
3 days. Taurus season. Cram. You already know what time it is. Shout out to Tony Baker. Yeah. Definitely check out again the Educated Baby Mama by Kiara Cow, and also check out Bougie Bartender, her hustle. You know, I always promote them on this platform, so please be sure that you check her out. Trying to think of any other fresheners, Righteous Minds, my boy Timo. Be sure that you check out his apparel. If you need to follow them on Instagram, just follow them at _FNRM. That's Fresheners Righteous Minds. So _FNRM_. You should be able to find them. Definitely some dope apparel there. I'm probably going to be buying some more t-shirts from them whenever I get the opportunity. Shout out to my boy Don Green. Or Don, you can follow him at Don Green 757. It's another brother of mine doing the, trying to get into the rap game. Still does dope music. Definitely check him out. Feel me. You already know. Please shout him out. Definitely check out I Supply the Product, as well as his apparel for I Supply the Product. As always, shout out to Michael Quarter, aka Quarter, who's been providing the music for this podcast. I can't speak his praises enough, man. That man, he's gonna do it. And then shout out to Tyrone Lee Jr., who provided the rap. For those who don't know, of course, at the beginning of this podcast, I always play him on the intro, and he had an interview with us last season. Hopefully, I'm gonna get him back in the building one more time before the season ends. But yeah, rest in peace, DMX.
Definitely.
Yeah, and rest in peace, Black Rob. We just lost him. If you haven't heard the song "Whoa," or if you don't know what that song is,
that,
you might
he
be a little
passed
too young.
away because he couldn't get the medical attention.
Oh my gosh, that's
I'm sorry, I love David. Did be doing his people wrong?
Yeah, y'all are really making it hard for Black people to trust the medical field. So, man, if y'all got doctors and whatnot, if y'all have medical conditions, please do your best to try and see if you can find someone that's Black. Because I know for a fact that they're gonna look after you and they're gonna do right by you. Especially, it's just it don't make no sense.
Get the medical attention. He's couldn't
afford it.
The medical attention.
How? Dang, yo.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. Did he be doing his people wrong?
Oh man, the industry. Okay. Yeah, I already got my problems with Diddy. I got and people, and he keeps adding on. It seems like Diddy.
Look at. I mean, everything that happened before, but look at Day 26. Look at Donnie. You got that one album I've never been seen heard from again. Look at Danny Kane. They had just like they had two albums, and that was it.
Carl Thomas, Total.
Yep.
It seems like that man made his money off of Biggie's back and Biggie's death.
Oh yeah, shout out to Carl Thomas because Carl Thomas' first album, Emotional. I'm about to play that when I get back home. I go back and I get that car. It'll be 21 years it came out. Last year was 20. This year is 21.
Wow.
And it came out on my birthday. And I'm so excited. I love that album. I played the free out of that album. There's a reason why. I knew there was a reason why I played that album so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it came out on my birthday.
Hey.
So shout out to Carl Thomas.
I learned something new. I love that album though. I love Emotional.
I still play it to this day.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
If you don't know what that album is, you're probably too young.
That's way too young.
And the same thing with Black Rob. If you don't know who that is, you're probably too young. But definitely, I'm gonna have to play a couple songs by Black Rob now. Dang, that really just hurt my heart finding that out today. But anyway, guys, please be sure that you follow Kay Reenea on Instagram at Kay the Bookworm. Is there an underscore in there?
Yes, Kay the Bookworm _ follow on Instagram and Twitter. Follow my Arthur pages, which is Arthur Kay Reenea, all one word. Follow the podcast Instagram, which is BH with Kay Reenea _ I think. Hold on now. Wait a second. I gotta look and see. I don't think there's no underscore under BH one. Hold on, let me see.
Yes, there's an underscore.
There is underscore. Okay, so BH with Kay Reenea _ Arthur Kay Reenea on Instagram and Twitter, and then Kay the Bookworm on _ on Twitter and Instagram as well. Kay the Bookworm is my personal. Arthur is my Arthur pages. Follow me on podcasts, like, rate, comment, subscribe. On YouTube, which is also Kay the Bookworm. I tried to get to 300 by my birthday, but now I was at 260. Now I'm back at 257. Don't know what happened to them people, but whatever. Trying to get to at least 300 by the end of the year. I hit my 4K mark 2 weeks ago.
This was
up. No, a week ago. No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, 2 weeks ago.
Word.
So I'm halfway through my yearly goal of 8,000.
Okay.
So I think I'm probably gonna go ahead and push that. So after I do JL, I'm taking a break because I need one.
Hey, recharge.
Oh, Jesus, I need a break.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try to finish do GL, do a break, and then come back for season 5. Just know that I might do like bonus episode here and there, but technically after JL, that's it for me. Far as my second book, I'm gonna try to finish it by mid-May. Yeah, definitely by mid-May because I have those days off. That's for my trip that I'm not going on. I'll probably just stay home and work on that. So mid-May, hopefully that book will be out. I want it be done. Hopefully I would love to have it by June, since June is Prime Month.
Okay.
Have it then. The third book, have that book out hopefully by, I say, like October-ish. And then bring it back and ended with Anthony and Michelle, because my book is kind of going to be. Here's the thing about my books. My books are going to be standalones, but they're also going to be connected.
Okay.
So you don't have to read the book before, but it's recommended so you can understand the characters.
Okay, so you got some tie-ins in there.
Yeah, definitely have ties in.
All right. With that,
so yeah,
be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Khaotic Culture Podcast. Be sure that you follow us on Facebook at Khaotic Culture Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Khaotic Culture Pod, and follow us on Twitter at Khaotic_culture. Be sure that you follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro, on Instagram and on Twitter. And yeah, you can follow my co-hosts. They're not here with me today, but you can definitely follow Law on Instagram at L.JR_96, and follow him on Twitter at Law96_. And you can follow Nasa on both Instagram and Twitter at _CallMeNasa. Please be sure that you go and listen to previous episodes here. I appreciate everyone who has tuned in thus far, and be sure that you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, your co-workers. It don't matter. You can share it with your pets for all I care, as long as you listen, but still, to the audience members that I have right now, I definitely appreciate it for supporting this podcast. We are coming up on a year in June. So
is it a year already?
Yeah, it's gonna be a year. It's gonna be a year.
Man.
Yeah, I've been trying to put in as much work as I possibly can on this thing, and I'm seeing the results.
First of all, shout out to you.
Yeah.
Because
hey, I appreciate
you told me you was gonna do it. You was really nervous about doing it in the first place. I was like, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you're doing it and it'd be a year in like 2 months, that's huge, bro.
Yeah.
So shout out to y'all.
Thank you, and thank you to you, obviously, for even giving me the inspiration in the first place. So,
that's what I do.
Hey. So, with that, guys, thank you once again for joining us for another edition of the Khaotic Culture Podcast. Be blessed, be safe. God is love. Deuces.
Bye.
Look, it's chaos in these streets, so let's talk about it, please. Let's hold some conversation. You see where I'm coming from. Yes, it's so amazing. Go ahead, get comfortable. You can grab a seat, take a load off your feet. Yeah, welcome to the table. We don't tell no lies over here. This ain't no fable. We just live our lives over here. We ain't no angels. We just shine our light over here. We got the power. We just showing love over here. Cause everybody needs some, yeah. And we don't need a reason. Everybody